Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see the biggest problem which occurs in case of the deep learning or the deep learning neural network. This is called as the overfitting and the underfitting. So before going for the overfitting and underfitting, we'll see the related concept called as the bias and the variance, because the bias and variance is very much related with your overfitting and the underfitting. So the bias, what is the bias? Bias measures how far in general this model prediction from the correct value. So what is the correct value of your input? When you apply the input, what is the correct value it should give as the output, and what is the predicted value? So it is the difference between it is the difference between the correct value and the predicted value. So this diagram shows the something clear picture about the bias and the variance. So middle portion is the red one. So the red portion gives you the correct value, while these blue dots. So blue dots are giving the your predicted value. So if whenever you are saying that this network is having the low variance and the low bias, so all the predicted values are same or equals to or the near about equals to your actual value. So you can say it is near same as your error or the accuracy. So accuracy is very high or the error is very small. So when predicted value is same as the actual value. So this is called as the low bias. When you go for the higher bias, so in high bias, the predicted value is very far away from the actual value. So you can say it is having the higher error. So whenever the predicted values are larger or the large or the away from the actual values, or the error is larger one, you can say it is having the higher bias. Another term that is called as the variance. So variance is how much the prediction for a given point vary between different realization. So if you apply the same input, then it will gives the same predicted value, or it will be different for the different times or different iteration. So input is same, your model is same, but you are applying this input to the model the number of times, and every time it will gives the same output. It may be the far away from the correct value, but it will gives the same value, or it will gives the every time it will gives the different predicted value. So that gives you the variance. So when you say that this low variance, so low variance means though the bias is larger one here or high bias, because the this predicted values are far away from the actual value, but all the values are predicted every time they predicted are the same one or near about same, so at the same point. And because of that, it will give you the low variance, because all the values are predicted every time these are predicted the similar or the same values, near about same values, though these are away from the actual value, but every time these are giving the same. And because of that, it is called as the low variance. So this picture gives you the low bias, because predicted and the actuals are same, as well as the low variance, because uh, every time the predicted values are at the same position or the same point. So it is similar to, variance is nothing but it is similar to your uh, precision or the repeatability, while the bias is nothing but it is the error or the accuracy. And here it is the low variance and the high bias, because it is away from this actual value, predicted values are away from the actual value, as well as the it is having the low variance because all the predicted values are at the same point. Then this will having the low bias but high variance. Low bias means because the error is somewhat less here, because all the predicted values are near about correct value. So correct value is the middle one, red one. So as the predicted values are near about correct value or the actual values, you can see it as having the low bias. While high bias as a high variance, this is called as a high variance because every time the predicted values are, though these are the near to actual value, but these are every time these are giving the different values, and because of that this is having the high variance and the low bias. So this picture gives you the high bias and the high variance, because it is the high bias or it is having the higher error because the actual value is this one center, and it will predict the values away from the center or away from the actual value or the correct value, and because of that it is having the high bias or high error, while this is having the high variance or high variance. That is because every time these are having the different value or this is giving the different value. So this picture is gives you the high variance and the high bias, this will give you the low bias and the high variance. So in network we have to train the network such that we should get the low variance, or your model should be trained such that it should give the low variance and the low bias. So any model is said as it is a well trained when it is having the low bias and the low variance. So overfitting and underfitting, in that case we have to avoid the overfitting and the underfitting so that our network or our model will be having the low bias and the low variance. Okay. Towards that we have to train our model so that we'll get the lower value of the bias and the variance. This is a picture about the bias variance trade-off. So bias and variance. So here if you move from the underfitting to overfit or underfit to overfit over this axis, you will see that when the underfitting is occur, at that time your variance is less but the bias is larger. At the same time the error rate will be higher. As we go from the underfitting towards overfitting, moving from underfitting to overfitting means increasing the number of neurons in the hidden layer. If you use the very less number of neurons in the hidden layer, there will be the underfitting problem. If you go on increasing the uh, number of neurons, or increasing the number of neurons is nothing but increasing the number of parameters in your network. So these are the connection weight. So increasing the number of parameters is related with the increasing the number of weights, not the weight values. So you can use the more number of weights. When you can use the more number of weights, when you can use the more number of neurons in the hidden layer. So anyway, we are going to increase the number of neurons in the hidden layer to go towards this overfitting to increase the or to improve the performance. So at underfitting, the variance is low, bias is larger one, error is large. So as you move from underfitting and try to increase the number of neurons in the hidden layers, the variance will be increases slightly, but the bias will be reduces. As the bias reduces and the variance will be increases slightly, somewhere this will be crosses to each other. And after that, after this point, error is also goes on reducing. And after this point, your variance will be increases or variance start increasing, and the bias will be still goes on reducing. And at overfitting, so when you use the very large number of neurons in the hidden layers, at that time overfitting will be occurs, and when overfitting is occurs, at that time your bias error is smaller one, very small, and the variance will be larger one. So this is the trade-off between the bias and the variance. So we have to compromise over the bias and variance because we cannot get the both the bias as well as variance smaller one. So we have to compromise at somewhere where our error rate will be minimum one, and this point is this. So you have to increase the number of neurons in the hidden layers up to this point where we'll get the minimum bias as well as minimum variance, and the error rate is also the minimum one. So this point is called as the best fit, which is the compromise or in between the number of neurons in the hidden layers, minimum one, and here is the maximum number of neurons in the hidden layers. In between we have to select the number of neurons so that we'll get the best fit curve for the any model. So where our bias error is also minimum one, variance is also somewhat minimum one, and the error is also minimum one. So we have to design the network or we have to design the model so that we'll get the best or the best fit, which will not having the any underfitting as well as the overfitting. So this is the classification example where there are the two classes. Star is the one class features or the examples, and these circles are the another class example. So the first graph, which is called as the underfitting, or it is inadequate fitting, or we are not considering the number of parameters or the number of neurons in the hidden layers required one. So this is the inadequate number of parameters that is considered, and because of that here the misclassification rate is larger one, because if you see that this the more number of features are misclassified. So this circle will be goes to this side, the another class, while this circles sorry this cross will comes into the another class. So there are the more number of samples are misclassified. So misclassified rate is higher one, or the error is larger one in case of the underfitting, because we have considered only the very less number of parameters. Less number of parameters means the you see the equation of this line, straight line. It will be y equals to mx plus c, or it will be the uh, output equals to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1. Okay, so only there is the beta 0 is one parameter and beta 1 is another parameter. Then to have the better classification, we can change the model. So we can use the more number of parameters. For that we can use the more number of neurons in the hidden layer, and because of that our model will be of this type. So it is the somewhat complicated with higher degree, or you can say this equation of this one is the complicated, or you are using the more number of parameters. So the equation may be the beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x3 plus beta 3 x3 plus beta 4 x4. So how many number of parameters you are using according to that equation, beta parameters and x1, that inputs goes on increasing. So it has the more number of parameters, and because of that this picture is better compared to this one. So here the less classification rate, or the classification error will be less. So more number of inputs are classified correctly. This is called as the best fit. And in overfitting, for though here the some of the inputs are not classified correctly. See this one, this x is comes to this side. So to cover this one, this 0 and this one o and this x, you can again increase the number of parameters. So this may contain the 10 number of parameters, that is beta 0 plus b beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x3 plus x2 plus beta 3 x3 plus beta up to beta 10 x10. And because of that this model will be of this type, complicated one, and it will covers each and every point. And so each and every input vectors are classified correctly, nothing is left out. So we have designed this perfectly for this many number of inputs. What is the problem with overfitting? If it is work only for this number of input, or this input, given input, what are the use for the training? If you use the any additional input, this may not work properly, or it will give the higher error. So training, so this part is training. So during training this is having the higher error, somewhat higher error. This is having the somewhat lower error, but this is having the almost zero error during the training, because each and every input points that you have used for the training is classified correctly, and for each and every point, to cover each and every point, you have design or you have used the some additional parameters, so that this curve becomes the complex one. Okay. So in case of so this is the graph for the error and the parameters, how many number of parameters you are going to consider. So parameters are nothing but these are related with the number of neurons in the hidden layers. So as you increase the number of parameters or number of neurons in the hidden layers, so for low number of parameters or the less number of hidden layers in the number of neurons in the hidden layers, error will be higher one initially. So that is called as the underfitting. So which is having the higher bias. So the training error as well as test error is both are somewhat higher in case of the underfitting. So underfitting gives the both the errors higher one. So at that time we are considering the less parameters or less number of neurons in the hidden layer, and because of that it will occur, underfitting will occurs having the both the errors are higher one. But as you go down increasing the parameters, or if you go down increasing the parameters, mean to consider the more parameters, you have to complicate the your design. So more number of parameters, more number of hidden neurons you have to use, and as you increase the number of parameters, your training error will be goes down reducing. So in this case, overfitting will occurs. So the complex model will be designed, and because of that, more number of parameters you have to consider, and which will take care of each and every input you are using for the training, and because of that everything will be classified correctly, so the training error will be zero, but the test error will be larger one, because if you apply the new sample for the testing other than this one, at that time definitely it will not be classified correctly, and it will give the larger error while testing. Okay, so this is the picture. So it will having the higher variance. So this is similar to if you want to design the some your what you can say project for one application. If you consider the one application, and for that all parameters of that application you have considered, and you design the your project similar to your suppose you want to design the some automatic farming system. For that you have considered the one crop, you have considered the one type of land, and for that particular land you are considering the some parameters such as your temperature, humidity, and maybe other parameters. So certain parameters you have considered for particular land, for particular one crop, and for that you have designed the model, and this model will be works only for that crop as well as that land. It will not work proper for the another one. So we have to design the model which will not work for only the training or the training sample. We have to design the model such that it should be generalized one. Generalized means it will be used for the, or it will classify better, or its performance will be better for any input, or when you apply the test input, at that time its performance should be better, or the error should be zero, or accuracy should be higher one. And for that we have to compromise over the number of parameters, that should not be very high so that you will get the overfitting, or the number of parameters should not be very less to be used so that you will get the underfitting. So it will be the compromise between the underfitting and overfitting, so that you will get the best fit, or it is the good compromise, or you have to design as a best fit graph which will classify the maximum number of inputs, so that the input or the training error will be somewhat lower one. At the same time when you apply the new sample, at that time it will classify it correctly, so the training testing error should be zero, or the minimum one. So overfitting, learned hypothesis may fit the training data very well. So in case of the overfitting, training data is fit very well, it is classifies each and everything even during the noise. So if some noise, that means if any small change in the input parameters, that, but it will be failed, because it will be so tightly designed for only this input. Anything small change as a noise or the small change in the input, that will this model will be fail to generalize to new example. So if you use any example, new example other than this one, it will fail, or if it is slight change in the same example, still it will be fail, and because it will be very tightly designed for only the this particular input. So that is the problem with the overfitting. Lower training errors but the larger test error. So this will having the lower training error. So training error is almost zero, because during training you have designed this for only this training samples, and because of that the training error will be zero. But it has the larger test error. Underfitting is having the larger training error as well as higher testing error. So we have to design the our network or the model such that it will be generalized one, having the best fit line, which will leave some of the input, or it will not classify the sum of the input properly, still it will be okay, because its performance during the testing will be better one. So this is the one example for underfitting and overfitting. So this is the simple example of how we teach to the small child. So while teaching to the child, or teaching or the learning to training to our network, it is trained, our model or our network is trained with single feature. If you train our model with the single feature, so what is that feature we are using to train that model? That feature is the shape of the object. It is the sphere. Sphere is the one, only one feature or the one parameter for which we are training our model. So when any object is sphere or they having the shape of sphere, your model is saying that it is the ball. So how we are training this one? If any object, if it is shape is of the sphere type, in that case that will be the ball. Okay, so these are the some type of ball. Maybe the this maybe your football, this may be the cricket ball, or this may be your basketball. So all these are the balls and all are having the sphere shape. So anything it is sphere shape, it will be the ball. So that is our training using only the single feature. While testing, so for this one it will works okay. But while testing, what I have done, I have applied the apple, which is having the sphere shape, but it is the apple is applied. Still, our model will gives the output as a it is the ball. So this will give the wrong prediction. Why it is wrong prediction? Because we have used only the single parameter, which is insufficient to classify this the object is a ball or it is not a ball. Because of this, it is only anything if you give to the as a sphere shape, it will gives the output as it is the ball, and it will be gives you the wrong prediction or the wrong answer. So this is because of the use of only the one parameter or the one feature or the very less features. So that is called as the underfitting. So your training error will be larger one because it is not giving the answer properly, as well as while testing it will gives you the wrong result. So its training and testing error both are larger. In case of overfitting, in the same model I will train with the more number of parameters. I will increase the number of parameter along with this sphere. I will use the another features or the parameters as it is the sphere. Any object having the shape of sphere, it is the ball. If we can play with that object, it is ball. If we cannot eat that object, then it will be the ball. And if the radius of that object is 5 centimeters something, so then it will be the ball. So with this four parameter 1, 2, 3, 4, if all four parameters are satisfied, your object our model will give the answer it is the ball. So in that way we have trained the model with these four parameters. When it is trained or when it is test, so during the testing, if I give the basketball which is of the larger radius than this 5 centimeter, it is trained for the radius equals to 5 centimeter, but I have given the larger centimeter a larger radius ball for the testing. So at that time it will ask or it will test the each and every parameters. So it will test for this one, it is a basketball, is it the sphere shape, it's okay, it will be correct, it will be satisfied this condition. Can we play with this object? Yes, it will be played. Can we eat this one? We cannot eat this object, given object for testing. So it will be again satisfied. But is the radius is equals to 5 centimeter. So here the radius of basketball is definitely larger than 5 centimeter, and here it will be fail. So this will not be satisfied. This condition or this feature will not be satisfied, and because of that our model will give the answer as it is not a ball. Though we have given the ball for testing, but it will not give the answer correctly. So it will give the wrong answer. It is not ball. That is because of additional feature or the number of features we have added here, and because of that it will give the overfitting. So during training it will do each and everything because you have used the ball of this radius during training all these parameters, and because of that it will give the overfitting, because when you give the something different than the object which is used for the training, it will give you the wrong answer. So this is due to the overfitting. Then we have to compromise between the underfitting and overfitting. So we have to use the parameters in between this one, not very less or not very high. So that is done in the best fit. So in this case the model is trained with the sufficient features, not very high or not very less. We have used the features as the sphere, can play and cannot eat, only three features. With this one, while testing the basketball, same ball again given for the testing, but the training is done only by using the only three parameter instead of four. So you can give the any ball, maybe the basketball, cricket ball or football for the testing. At that time, your output of this model will give you the correct answer. It is the ball, because we have removed the additional or the any extra parameter or features which is giving the problem. So how many number of parameters we have to use? Not very high, not very less, and if it is a very less parameter, it is giving the problem of underfitting. If very large number of parameters, overfitting problem. So we have to compromise between the very large and the very less number of parameters, and we have to find out the minimum value of the bias, minimum value of the variance, or the error will be minimum one. So we have to design this best fit model. Then what are the techniques to overcome the overfitting? So there are the many techniques. Out of that, I have listed here some techniques for the overfitting. Uh, so this is the validation. So you can use the different types of validation till you will get the you will not get the correct result or the minimum better result for the validation. You go on changing the number of parameters. So that we can do in the validation. Early stopping, how many number of iteration you require, so you can decide till we are getting the better performance and we can stop there. Regularization and the dropout. Okay, so now these two we are going to consider in the another video, regularization and the dropout. So these are the uh, important concept. Validation and early stopping, these are the very simple. Then there are the certain techniques to overcome the underfitting. So these are the simple techniques. You can underfitting is because of the very less number of parameters or the features. You can increase the more number of features you can consider. Try high variance machine learning models. So these are the high variance machine learning models we can use. Decision tree or the K neural network or the SVM. And with this one we can overcome the underfitting. But the major problem is to avoid the or the overcome the overfitting. And here we'll consider only the two methods, simple methods, and these two methods, regularization and the dropout, which are important one, we'll see in the another video. Okay, so this k-fold cross validation is nothing but the testing. So what are the input vectors we have, the input set, that we are going to split into the k different subset or the folds. So what are the input set we have, the total number of input data or the input samples. So that suppose you have the 1000 number of samples, we are dividing this into the 10 set subset. So maybe in one set there are the 100. So 100 10 number of set will be there. Out of that, one set we are using for the validation or the for the testing, and the remaining test we are using for the training purpose. So train the network with the 9 set, that is 900 number of inputs, and the 100 number of input that is in one set, that we are using for the validation or the testing purpose. Then calculate the validation accuracy. How many number of samples are correctly classified and how many number of samples are not correctly classified. According to that you can find out the error. Then in second round, so this is in first round, in second round what we are doing, the what are the subset we have used for the testing or the validation, that subset we are using the another subset for the validation. In first round we have used the first set, that is the first 100 number of samples, input samples we have reserved for the testing or the validation, and from 101 to 1000 we are used for the training purpose. Then in second round we will use the this middle one, second subset, that is 201 to 300. So this middle set, that 100 subset of 100 samples we'll use for the validation or the testing, and the first subset and the third to 10 subset we have used for the training. Again find out the accuracy. Again third round, in that third subset we have used for the testing or the validation, and the remaining 9 subset we have used for the training. In that way, for every round we have changed the subset used for the validation or the testing. Okay, so all the 10 subsets are used one by one for the validation, and the remaining for each and every round we have used for the training. In that way, and every round we have calculated the error, sorry, accuracy, and then we can take the average accuracy of this one, average out this accuracy, and we will get the final accuracy for our model. Till we will not get the correct accuracy, we can go continuing our validation. So we have to calculate the validation accuracy. If it is not lower, then do the regularization. Regularization is nothing but we have to modify our uh, parameters. So what are the parameters we have considered? Number of parameters we have considered. Rather than increasing the parameters within this one till we will get the correct or the proper accuracy of the validation or the higher accuracy of the validation, we have to manipulate our parameters. Means parameters are scaled up or scaled down. So all the parameters are multiplied with certain factor, and because of that there may be the change in the validation accuracy. So you play with the scaling factor of the parameters, not increase the parameter but play with the uh, its scaling factor, and then try it, repeat it number of times till you will get the good validation accuracy. Okay, so in that way this will be completed. So this is the k-fold cross validation. So that one method we can use for the um, avoiding the overfitting. So you have to repeat this regularization until there will be no overfitting. So rather than increasing the number of parameters, what we are doing, we are scaling the parameters. What are the parameters we have used? That parameters we have scaled up, scaled down with the certain value. We are multiplying these parameters with some factors, numerical factors, and because of that, our accuracy may be increased. So you do this scaling till your validation accuracy will be better one, and there will be no overfitting because we have not increased the parameter, rather than the same parameter we have changed, values of the parameters are scale or the something change in the parameters. So with this one we can avoid the or the overcome the overfitting problem. This is the another method for overcoming the overfitting problem, that is the early stopping. In early stopping, how many number of epochs you have to or the iteration you have to perform for the training. So as your less number of epochs, this is the accuracy. So as you increase the number of iterations, the accuracy will be goes on increasing. Accuracy during the training as well as during the validation or the testing. After some number of iterations, your validation accuracy will be goes on decreasing. So whenever, why it is decreases, because uh, after this point the overfitting will be start. So overfitting will be start to occur from this point. So this is the point where we have to stop, where we are getting the maximum accuracy over the training set as well as the validation set or the testing set. And after that your accuracy for on the training will be remains constant, as well as the accuracy of the validation or testing will be goes on reducing, because after this point your overfitting will be occurs. So we have to stop here the number of iteration for the training, and this is your stopping criteria. Don't go for the any number of iteration, any number of epoch, so that your validation accuracy will be start decreasing. So here we have to stop the number of iterations. So that's why it is called as the early stopping point. That is not go to the beyond this one number of iterations. So having too much iteration may cause the too much variance on the training data. Once the validation accuracy stop increasing here, it will start decreasing. So stop the iteration. So here you have to stop the iteration once your validation accuracy start decreasing. So this is the early stopping criteria rather than going for the more number of iteration. Okay, so these are the very basic two methods to avoid the or to overcome the uh, overfitting. So other one, regularization and the dropout. These two methods we will see in the next video. Thank you very much.